Hi.
Well, hello. For people who don't know who you are, who the fuck are you people?
All right, well, I'm Ron. I'm 33 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am currently in the leather community for 10 years. I am also the Three Rivers Leather Club president, current. I've served on the board many times past. I have Mike Trigger here as my pup. And we have a third at home, so it's a triad.
Okay. So, how did you meet?
Well, we actually met on one of the websites, if I'm not mistaken, and then it was just a matter of what are you into in the community, and we started talking back and forth. And he actually met me out at Leather Central, which is now closed, but met me there, and I think
then the rug got pulled.
Oh yeah, you go ahead.
I was living with someone at the time. He 3.5 years, and we split up. We're still living in the house together when I was finishing school. It got messy, it got vicious, and at one point he moved somebody in.
While he's still living there?
While I'm still living there in a spare room.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little uncomfortable because I had, I'm sure as you know from cameras, I had about $40,000 worth of photo equipment in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid had a severe drug problem. The air conditioner just disappeared out of the window, and then the next thing I knew, I was locked out of the house with my Dalmatian.
Oh, okay.
And that's...
So he, discussions back and forth, and I know all this is going on, and I talked to my partner at home, and we have it's 3 bedrooms, master bedroom and an office, really, is what it comes down to. And I was like, look, it could be short term, we can figure this out, but he needs a place to go. He's literally out of the house tonight. So we opened it up, and he's been a part of the group since. He fits in well as far as the 3 of us. Does a lot of responsibilities around the house.
Now, is it a flat plane, or are there hierarchies within this triad?
I would probably think there would be a hierarchy where it would be Jack, my partner Jack, and I would be that higher level, if you will, and then Mike falls underneath. But it's still a triangle picture, if you understand. So it is a little weighted, if you will.
Yeah.
Long story short, and I'm sure we'll get there at some point, actually that upper part of the triangle is having a little issues right now.
Okay.
So Mike is kind of stepping back, if you will, and keeping peace so that we can figure things out, because obviously whatever happens there involves Mike too.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still part of it.
Okay, so you've got open conversation and dynamic that you can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned that you were locked outside your house with your Dalmatian, and here you are with a Dalmatian hood.
Which actually, I helped a friend of mine who just recently left about...
He was here this
3 hours ago. First time we met in person was here, Claw. This weekend.
2 years ago?
Actually knew him online 2 years ago. He's going through a rough spot and helped him through it. And unbeknownst to me, he sent a picture of my Dalmatian, who looks exactly like this, even down to the ear markings.
Wow.
His name is London, and he talked to Jack, and
we had conversations behind the scenes about Mike's birthday's coming up and whatnot, and what can I do for him or whatnot. So pictures of London went, and
started with that for birthday. Ended up being a Christmas present.
I believe it was a Christmas present by the time it was completed and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now he never met the person, never face to face, just conversations and texts and whatnot. But that's one pretty big gesture.
That's pretty cool.
It's custom made.
Mm-hmm.
Do you identify as a Dalmatian?
I do.
What are the characteristics of Dalmatians that you see?
High energy, problem solving. I don't know. I don't know that it'll be able to show for the camera, but yeah, it's.
He was going to pull up a picture of him.
No.
It literally is the same markings as my Dalmatian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's high energy. He's very empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
He can tell when somebody's upset. I would say that's.
Empath. He can read. He can feel off of your group's feelings or whatnot, and knows what's going on without knowing.
Yeah. So, how long have you been connected with the pup community?
We're both probably newer into it.
Probably.
I started it with him.
Mm-hmm.
There was a photo shoot that was in Baltimore. A friend of mine that I knew was wanting to do a photo shoot because he was going to compete for something. He invited us up for the weekend, and then it ended up being the same weekend as Scarlett's. We went there, did the photo shoot, and he was originally just going to do the 2 changes. I'm like, do you want to do anything else while you're here? I'm like, we still got the other half of the day. Sure. He ended up doing went in, got in his pup gear, and he came out, and
I was on the couch. I'm just sitting there watching what's going on. I was brought along to help carry stuff and, just supply, help whenever's needed. And I see this coming in, and I'm like, what the heck? I've never seen it before. I don't know what it is. So he comes in, does his photo shoot, and I'm just watching their interaction between photographer and, subject, if you will.
Using same commands as you would for a dog, though.
Yeah.
And they finish their photo shoot, and then next thing I know, this pup on all fours comes over and starts.
He says, "Come here," and so he did.
Starts playing with me and starts, nuzzling, licking, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? And Mike's like, treat him like a 4-legged dog. So it's go in and scratches, and I was just giggling and laughing, and I turned into a 3-year-old. So that was my first pup experience with him at a photo shoot, and then.
Because I was technically a boy at the time, and one of our other friends at that weekend brought it up, and he gave me permission to explore more of the pup side rather than just the boy side. And a sir that we know, when he met us,
I would peg you for that.
Yeah, he says you basically are a pup with the heart of a boy. So true.
Okay. So do you identify as both a pup and a boy, or is there a balance more to one?
The hood is the telltale sign. I mean, you know that one. If the hood's on, he's that pup.
Yep.
He's got full characteristics of the boy. He's helpful. He's there when you need him. You could ask him to do anything. Very dependent too. Or very dependent and reliable.
It's a boy most of the time, but you can see when the pup tends, even without the hood and the belt, if we're at home or something, when the pup side comes out. So it's.
So what do you get out of pup play?
To think. It's almost like it's freeing in a way, because when you're on the boy side, it's everything is seen. Everything you do also reflects usually on your sir or your handler or whatever the case is, or your partner at the time, whoever you're with. If you're a pup, it's still in your head somewhat, but it's not. It's more about the release. It's all the stress. I was in the military for 8 years, so there's still baggage from there, but it all just kind of goes away.
Okay, so you find that it's a stress relieving tool for that as well.
The puppies have me trained.
In what way?
So we went on a camp out, and the same puppy that started puppy play with me. They were playing with a ball and doing a little mosh inside of our room, and they hit the ball, and I went and got it and brought it back to the group, the two of them. I mean, it's not far; it's just on the other side of the room, and
we couldn't get to it.
It was underneath the couch or the sofa or whatever it was. So I went and got it, moved the equipment and brought it back. Next thing I know, they hit it again.
We looked at each other, and then
Now I'm a blonde Pollock too, so throw that into the mix. They had me trained as fetch.
That's kind of the opposite way it's supposed to work. Right?
I understand that, but it was very funny to see how it happened.
After the 8th time he went and got it, he says, "Wait a minute." He says, "Why am I the one fetching?" And we were just sitting there, head tilted.
But you know what? It made them smile. I wasn't mad. I was happy. Like, it was just puppy time, and it was good.
So here's the thing, right? The average handler is kind of like, well, I kind of like being in control, and I kind of like being a dom, and da. You're not that handler. You said yourself, your words were that I was giggling like a 3-year-old, right? So what do you get out of puppy handling?
I never had much of a childhood. I had a great childhood for what I did. My mom was a single parent. Dad was, long story short there, very hard. But mom raised me. Mom did everything. I grew up quick. I was home alone at age 10. Again, didn't have much of a childhood. To giggle like that and to have that freedom again, that was fun. That was enjoyment.
Okay. So for you, it's a fun. It's almost like a childlike.
Pretty much, you have a kid that's going to a puppy park. And all these puppies come up to him and start attacking them and licking them, and he does do the fetch and whatnot. So I do take the handler mentality. He's got his collar, I have my leash, I have his leash. Actually, I should have said. But yeah, it's everything's opposite. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. And it's fascinating because I remember when I met you at the Mosh last year. I was there. You were different. You were both different, and that's what I sort of find attractive. Is that like why are you guys different? So,
not the fact that I was 6'7", but I was sitting on the floor. I remember that.
I
do.
remember, like, is that you're a big, tall man, and then you're on the floor, and it's like, oh, finally, the right fucking height. It's like, I don't have to hurt myself to talk to you. So, what was Claw like for you this year? How was it?
Claw is getting to be more informative. It's getting to be more learning. It's getting to be more hands-on. This is probably my 6th year, if I'm not mistaken. I remember coming to Claw, and it was parties, drinking, fun parties in rooms and whatnot. Didn't happen much this year. It was more or less, lobbies, restaurants with friends, bars, Leather Stallion. We did Mike's cupping experience this afternoon. So it was more downplay, if you will. I love Claw because Claw is not your typical run or your typical competition. There is no competition. There is no main event, if you will. So Claw is very, very informative with learning and schooling. I enjoy the classes much.
Yeah. You're 33?
33.
How old are
Good
you?
memory.
38.
38. Okay, so you're...
I'm younger. I'm the youngest out of the 3 of us.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
I'm probably the most dominant out of the 3 of us. I'm the bottom out of the 3 of us.
Stop flirting. Seriously, stop flirting.
Sorry. But I have basically everything is opposite for me.
Yeah.
So
you're kind of the new school of kink.
Yep.
And
I've had a hard time with that. I really have.
Right.
I was brought up in the leather community as old part of community, old guard. My first experience with leather, I was working at the Pittsburgh Eagle, and one of the leather guys threw a harness on me because they thought I looked good. At the end of the night, he said, end up keeping it, retain it, and then we had monthly leather club meetings that was at the bar, and he said, you just got to wear it. So my first piece was gifted to me. I understand how that works. I was brought into history and things like that. I get the old guard, but the old guard's not going to survive unless you change. Unless you go new age, adapt. There is no word. There is no word. I hate when people say old guard, new guard, or old guard, new actions or whatnot. There is no word on what that. You have to remember your history. You have to remember where it came from before you can go anywhere.
So what direction do you think it's going to go? So let's say, what's Claude going to be like in 5 years' time?
If people get off their phones and their apps, I think it would do great. You get on the lobby and everybody's standing there on Grindr, Scruff, whatever. I mean, that's the whole point of Claw, is to get people to socialize and get people to do things in public events. I'm a little, I don't want to say scared for that, but Claw's going to have to step into some technology, some way in that shape. They have that Yelp app or Yap app, keeps information coming. I don't know what it's going to be like in 5 years. I don't.
Yeah.
The classes. What's the leadership class we went to?
Leather leadership. We did a roundtable discussion with other presidents, secretaries, other e-board members from the club. So, what are you doing?
Well, no, it lets. The first question everybody has is, how do we bring new people into the community? And it's the same question that they ask each year, but there's always different people, new people that are coming and giving their perspectives. Are the club in Pittsburgh, the numbers have doubled?
We did it because the bar closed. Because Leather Central closed, we had to move. We had to pick a new home. No, we don't have a new home established yet, but we are seeking other avenues, and it's being visible, being out there. We do have an internet presence. We do have Facebook. We do have FetLife. We have all those other sites. But being out there and seeing people that are interested, that just want to say, hey, what's that patch mean? Or, that leather looks kind of nice. How'd you get it? Or what's it mean? Then you got to teach them. You got to school them.
Yeah. Cool.
The classes are completely varied. Anything you can think of now for a fetish or a kink, there's at least one other person that does it. Whether there's a class that's organized through Claw, or whether there's a group of people that get together in a room and are trying to figure things out, it's ever changing. We went to a fire class
yesterday. At the academy.
Academy.
Different places. It's here at Claw.
Yeah.
But there was a gentleman there that's on FetLife, and he helps run the academy. And we went there. We saw all the fire, the flash cotton, the cupping and stuff like that, which we had both tried before with cupping. But at the end of it, my back had been hurting. It's
spasm.
Injured. And he watched me get up, and he came over to me, and he says, how bad's your back? And I said it's been spasming the last couple of days, and he invited us back today, and he says, I'm working from 12 to 6. He says, as long as we're not busy, he's like, I can help you with that. And we went back today, and he did, and it's new. I mean, it's just happened, but it's actually feeling better.
New experience for him.
Cool.
But then from that, there was 4 or 5 other people there, and other people.
Everybody
started asking
mingled to that
questions.
room and was watching it. So there was a gentleman there from Michigan, new into kink and leather. He actually asked, "Okay, what's the fire and wax play sign just on the door? What does that mean?" Now he's working Claw and working the event, but has no clue what that entails. So to show him and the demonstration that was going on was, you could see his eyes, you could see his interest. It was really cool. With the help of videos and how-tos and whatnot, I think that's key.
Knowledge and education just gets exponential. It's like one person learns it. Everybody teaches one person.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys were to teach a class, what would you teach?
So when you say teach a class, I don't want to teach a class because I'm not right on everything. I'm not right on a lot of things. I would much rather do a round table.
Sure.
And I am the controlling type where I want to drive it, but the conversation will take its own course. What it would be, I couldn't tell you. But I wouldn't limit it to teaching I'm right or wrong. I want to hear everybody's opinions. I want to take it all into approach. That's how we've got Three Rivers Leather Club to survive in the past. Is we've heard the membership and we drive it the way they want to go.
Okay. Well, we probably should wrap this up a little bit because I could yabber on for hours. But if people wanted to learn more about leather and kink and puppy play and all that sort of stuff in Pittsburgh, sorry.
That's okay.
How would they best contact you guys?
Easiest way right now is through info@trlc.net. That's the club's website.
We're also on Facebook.
Yeah,
FetLife.
Facebook there's the account. FetLife, there's Three Rivers account. If you want to go there to get in touch with us, that email from info comes right into me, comes right into my secretary. So even if that person wants to email in, say a year now when they see this or later down the road, if they just put, hey Ron or Mike or whatnot or kink, pup play, whatever, I'm sure it'll get routed to the right party, the right interest. But that's probably the best way is go to Three Rivers Leather Club.
Sounds really cool.
So.
Anything you would like to leave as a final thought?
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for saying hi to me last year.
Oh.
Because I sat at the puppy play and I was like, who's this guy coming over? And then Mike explained the whole thing down and I'm like, you know what? He's got great videos. I've seen him. I love it. So I just for you coming over, thank you for that.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Last thought, don't give up hope. Strive on. And
don't be afraid to ask somebody or ask questions.
There you go.
People are willing to teach you. They're willing to learn. When you get something or you get a new fetish or a kink and something you like, you light up and other people can see that and they like to share it.
Fantastic. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Yeah.